How subtle, clever, and devious can the addicted mind be when you don't even know why you're tempted? You're not sad, you're not angry, you're not triggered by a person, a place, or a party, and yet a voice rises within you. You're doing great, you got this under control, it's been long enough, you've proved your point. This is the most dangerous lie recovery ever meets. Not the pain, not the craving, but the illusion of pride. The whisper that says, you're safe enough now to take that drink, to take that hit. It's very devious, this form of pride that turns into a trap. This voice doesn't come from your strength, it comes from that shadow. It pretends to be confidence, but it's ego wrapped in a trick. You're not weak for hearing it, but you are wise for not answering it. And you and I are not alone in this. A random real-life share that I just picked out in regard to this, someone that thought I could handle it, was saying, I hit 2 years sober, I felt great, no cravings, no issues. And one random Thursday I thought, I've proven myself. I could probably handle a glass of wine now, just one to celebrate. And I did, and I handled it, until I didn't. 6 weeks later I was crying in the bathroom again, ashamed, sick, alone. The hardest part wasn't the drink, it was forgiving myself for thinking I was invincible. I'm sure you can relate to that story. And there's a billion other stories just the same, so we're not alone. It is a very, very powerful voice of the addiction. It's the insanity of the way an addictive mind works. We are familiar with the way it works. We're familiar with the insanity of it, and yet it continues to create a vision of the impossible and make it feel like it's normal. Not just normal, but imperative and vital that we take action. That the craziest of poisonous dangers feels at that moment like the most attractive, tastiest cake. And you know yourself that even on the way to buy that poison, even as you're lifting that poison to your face or your veins, you know you are being conned by your own devil inside. That you're on that cliff edge, knowing the result of jumping, but feeling a different outcome. And that's an interesting visualization actually. You can close your eyes, picture yourself standing on a cliff, tall, powerful, the wind in your hair, and the voice says to you, you can fly now. You've been strong long enough. You don't need the safety rail anymore. And for a moment, it sounds good. But you look down and you remember. You remember the fall, the crash, the climb back up that nearly killed you, and you step back from the edge. Sounds simple. It sounds simple. But it takes strength. Because strength isn't jumping again. Strength is standing still, with clarity, with memory, and walking away whole. You know, sometimes or often we can use things like affirmation rampages just to instill in our mind, way before this moment even happens, that I know the truth about me and I can prevent that devilish voice chirping away saying, come on, everything's okay now. You know, we can tell ourselves, I am not controlled by cravings and I won't be fooled by my ego. I am not trying to prove I can drink. I am proving I can stay free. I remember where it led. I remember the lie. I remember the hollow celebration. I don't drink anymore, not because I can't, but because I don't want to lose myself again. My pride is in my peace. My strength is in my clarity. My power is in staying present, not testing old wounds. I don't need to test my healing. I need to live it. I know who I am. I know what I survived. I know better, and I do better. I'm free. I'm clear. I'm still here. And I will not go backwards. Of course, we know the objective here is just to let that voice pass. And that is a lot easier said than done. And we might have to fall off the edge of that cliff a few times before we really feel that inside we've got that momentum, that desire, that moment where we can grab hold of it and keep it. The voice might return tomorrow. It might visit us in the shower, in traffic, in stillness in the shop. But that voice isn't your soul. It's an echo of your old pattern, begging just for one more try. And you are now done gambling with your peace. Let the voice pass. Let the wind blow. Let yourself remain. So, when ego tries to trick you or the thought arises, just acknowledge it without fear. Remind yourself, pride is not proof of safety. Say aloud, I don't want to start over again. And don't forget there are many tools in the bag. Call someone, sponsor, friend, someone who cares. Even if it feels silly, just have that moment just to say it out loud to someone. Write down maybe in a diary how good sobriety feels. All the things you're grateful for today, being sober and clean. Say this. This is the trick, and I see it. I know what you're doing. I know the game you're playing, and I'm not playing it. And afterwards, just breathe. Reflect on love and self-worthy. Congratulate yourself that you keep going, that you keep becoming clean and sober, that you take every day, one day at a time. And reflect on it with love for yourself, not shame. Feel gratitude and appreciation that you're not falling for this voice anymore. Because the hardest moments in recovery aren't always when we're broken. It's when we're feeling good, and this voice tries to turn that into permission to go back to the old patterns. So let this be your answer then. I don't need to test the fire again to know it burns. I am whole, I am well, and I will not gamble my freedom just to prove I could fall again.